All right, welcome. Today we are jumping headfirst into a story that's, well, it's part tech thriller and part high-stakes human drama. We're talking about moving a massive, critical financial system from the old world of Cobol into the shiny new world of Java. But trust me, this isn't just a story about code. Oh no. It's about navigating a maze of people, office politics, and ancient systems. So let's get into it. So imagine you're the one dropped right into the middle of this thing. Your first thought? Wow, it's like puzzle pieces flying upside down. That feeling right there, that's the pure, unfiltered chaos we're starting with. This was the day-to-day reality for the person whose job it was to manage the configuration for this entire massive project. Okay, so here's the heart of the problem. You've got this absolutely essential financial system, right? The digital backbone of a whole company, just chugging along in COBOL. The mission, should you choose to accept it, is to build its future in Java without, breaking the present. Where do you even begin to untangle something like that? On paper, the task sounds almost straightforward, doesn't it? Just take the old COBOL design docs and programs and rewrite them in modern Java. Easy. But this isn't like building a new house on an empty lot. It's more like performing open-heart surgery on a system while it's still running. The risks are just huge. But see, the technical side of it, that was only half the story. The other side of the coin was all about the people. You had completely different worlds colliding, all these diverse teams with their own complex goals, all trying to somehow work together. And this project team was a whole ecosystem in itself. You had the main contractor, Hitachi, trying to coordinate with something like 5 different subcontractors. And this brought together such a wild mix of people. You had the COBOL veterans who knew the old system like the back of their hand, the Java experts pushing for all the modern best practices, and then the designers who had this deep, deep financial know-how. I mean, with that much talent in one room, the pressure was just massive, and you could feel the tension ratcheting up. So you've got this gnarly technical puzzle crashing right into a complicated web of human dynamics. How on earth do you solve for both? We're about to get into the solution, and hey, if you're finding this deep dive into big tech projects interesting, this is a perfect time to hit that like and subscribe button to follow the rest of the journey. At the very heart of the conflict was this fundamental clash of cultures. On one side, you had the world of COBOL, rigid, super predictable, a fixed environment where everything had its designated place. And then on the other side, you had Java, a world of freedom, constantly evolving structures, and all the complexities of object-oriented design. This wasn't just a difference in programming language. It was a total culture shock written in code. So, faced with this total chaos, something had to change, and this is where our hero, the configuration manager, steps in. They had to forge a whole new set of rules to get everyone on the same page, covering everything from the design documents all the way down to how they manage the code. To bring order out of all that chaos, the manager rolled out a 3-step strategy. First, they had to map it out. Basically, create a Rosetta Stone to translate the old COBOL logic into Java's world of classes and packages. Second, they needed to plan ahead, defining the entire debug and testing sequence way in advance to prevent an absolute nightmare later on. And finally, and this was the big one, they had to unify control, getting every single team across all the different companies to use the exact same process for version control. So what did unified version control actually look like in practice? Well, it was absolutely mission critical. Using tools like Git and SVN, they created these incredibly detailed rules for everything: what a single code commit should contain, how to manage branches, the exact policies for merging code back together. And these rules were then shared and strictly enforced across every single subcontractor. No exceptions. But, creating a perfect set of technical rules, that was only half the battle. The real challenge was getting the people, the humans, to actually adopt them. And that brings us to the human element, this blend of learning and challenge that would really decide if the project was going to sink or swim. The true challenge, when you boil it all down, wasn't just Java versus COBOL. It was about blending 2 completely different mindsets. It was about respecting the decades of business logic that were baked into that old COBOL system, while at the same time taking advantage of the power and efficiency of modern Java practices, like reusing common code. And how did they pull that off? Through sheer, intense collaboration. This number right here really says it all. 5 different companies, all in daily meetings together, just hammering out the details, arguing and refining the path forward. You had Cobol veterans, Java engineers, and financial experts all in the same room, debating and slowly building a shared understanding. And all that work led to this really powerful realization, a genuine turning point for the whole project. The quote says it all. Configuration management is not just source control, it's team collaboration and knowledge integration. This is the moment it all clicked. The technology, the people, and the business knowledge, they all had to come together to make this work. So, we've just uncovered the core secret to this project's success. And hey, if you're getting some value from these kinds of deep dives, the best way to support us is to just take a second to hit that like button and subscribe for more explainers just like this one. It really helps. So, with this new integrated approach that really blended the tech and the teamwork, the project finally turned a corner. They reached a whole new level of productivity, and it felt like that labyrinth was finally being conquered. So the recipe for their success really came down to a fusion of three key ingredients. You had the priceless experience from the Cobol veterans, the smart application of modern Java techniques, and that deep, crucial financial domain knowledge from the business experts. It was only when all three of those were truly merged that a stable, successful development process finally emerged. And for the person at the very center of all this, our narrator, the outcome was so much more than just a successful project. As they put it, this labyrinthine challenge elevated my experience to the next level. It was one of those transformative experiences that forges a whole new level of skill and understanding. That whole journey through the labyrinth completely elevated their experience. So the final question really is for you. What's the first step you're going to take tomorrow to conquer your own labyrinth, whatever that might be? Thanks so much for watching.